Hello everyone, my name is Angelica and welcome to my channel. Happy New Year everyone! I hope you are ready for this year full of new projects. For my first video this year, I've decided to create 3 decorations out of your favorite product, air dry clay. So without any further ado, let's get right into the first project. Like always for all of my projects, I will be using das air dry clay, but of course you can use any brand you like. I start with taking small part of it and kneading it between my hands. It becomes softer and easy to work with. For my first project, I have to create quite thin but long and rolled piece. I use 2 hands to roll it out evenly. I prepared the tray with greaseproof paper on it. It will be much easier to create the wanted shape straight on the place where it's going to dry. I move my clay log onto the tray and connect 2 ends together. I simply press them together and smooth out. Once the circle shape is created, I give it the wanted shape, which is, well, abstract shape. With this size, I managed to only create 4 curves. But if you make the clay longer or even thinner, you will be able to create more of them. I double check if the size is actually practical as well. Using a damp piece of sponge, I go along the clay and smooth it out. I've also created smaller version. And in this position I leave them to dry. Once they are dry, I take 200 grit sanding pad and sand them down all around. This helps to get rid of any imperfections and prepare the surface for the paint. I'm using acrylic paints in 2 different colors, and as this will be used as a coaster, I recommend applying Mod Podge or PVA glue. It will create protective layer on it. I've created many jewelry dishes out of air dry clay, but this one is different and unusual. I take big piece of clay and roll it out flat to the same thickness. It has to be quite thick to hold its shape. First I draw the shape of the top dish and then cut it out. To create the edge, I simply wrap it up, trying to keep the same thickness all around. With my fingers and damp sponge, I try to achieve one solid piece. For the legs, I roll another piece of clay. Altogether, I will need 3 pieces. Make sure they are the same height, otherwise your dish won't stand up straight. I turn the dish upside down and smooth its surface out. To attach the legs, I make few small cuts on the dish and the legs part. Small amount of water and I glue them on. To make it more secured, I roll small piece of clay and wrap it around the part where the leg touched the dish. Then I blend it all so it looks like one continued piece. As the whole construction is quite fragile right now, I leave it like this to dry. And again I give it a good sanding. This time I leave the original clay color and paint checked pattern on it. You can customize this step whichever way you want. I just try to keep all my projects very minimalistic today. To create the candle holder, I roll out another piece of clay, this time longer than wider. But of course I try to roll it to the same thickness all along. To make straight cut I use the ruler and create the strap, about 30 cm long and 4 cm wide. All edges are nice and straight. I smooth the surface out with damp sponge. I lift up the one end and create like a little hill. I take the candle and measure how much space I will need for it. And from that point I lift it up again, creating even bigger hill. As the clay is quite thick, it stays nicely in place. But you can always create some kind of support to keep it in place, like for example rolled kitchen foil. Remember, you can always sand down any imperfections once the clay is dry, but it's always good to give it the best finish before leaving to dry. Now it's time to create something what will hold the candle in place. I make small ball out of the clay and push the candle in it. I make it quite high so it will hold the weight of the candle once it's dry. I make it straight and remove the candle, but before I remove it I make it slightly wider as clay shrinks when drying and I want to make sure my candle will still fit into it. I create few small cuts and with the pressure I glue two parts together. Last, fixing and smoothing before I leave it to dry. After drying, candle still fits to the holder and stays secured in place. For this decoration I'm going with old and well-known technique with baking soda. I add few teaspoons of baking soda to my paint and then cover my whole decoration with this. I hope you enjoyed first 3 projects of this year. If you did, don't forget about the like button and let me know in the comment section which project was your favorite. Also let me know what DIY projects and ideas you would like to see on my channel this year. And for now, thank you so much for watching and I will see you in my next video.